All right, so BXP again. This is I drew this horizontal to green line to kind of show why we focus on buying more than the third time through resistance. So we can see going back in April it held 108. In June it held 108. Back in November it could not get above 108. And now this is like the sixth or seventh attempt where this BXP was finally pushing up through 108. Very nice tight flag, looked great. Just didn't have the follow through. So took the trade, took it through that 108 area, but it literally went $2 higher, basically doji at highs, basically showing us indecision, showing the buyers aren't there. And instead of giving this back verse, the proper pivot, verse 99, even verse 105, it went $1 or $2 in my favor. It wasn't worth giving it more room, kind of hoping and praying that these 5 basically dojis at highs are going to just change course and it's going to continue higher. So I took the 1% loss in this. Again.
A question for you on that one.
Yeah.
So now when you're looking to re-enter, which I'd imagine you're going to keep watching this one, if it pulls back to, let's say, 100 and turns that area to new support, are you going to look to buy there? Or are you just going to simply wait for like a bull flag in this 110 area that's like really solid?
So I would definitely look for, so even going to the next one, we'll probably kind of go to that. But again, I'd look for, if it pulls into 100, because again, buying 108, I had to kind of be perfect in that trade where if I'm buying it up off 100, if it pulls in, and I could buy it up through 101, verse 99 or 98, I'm in a much better position where I can even further buy through 108 down the road. But I'm not going to, that's, again, I would be buying up off support. That would be the short answer.
Okay.
So going into Walmart kind of goes into that same, kind of your same question. So if you pull up the next chart.
I got it. I'm in this.
All right. So if you're looking at like 140, in this same example, like for Shake's question, it was, for Walmart, I was looking to buy up through 148. This was end of February, buying up through that 148. It gapped down and it just sold off basically, 10 days in a row. So initially my plan was to buy through 148, never went. And as it started to break back down, again, we don't try to catch support, we don't try to catch the low, we want to wait for it to consolidate or show us a tight entry. So as it pulled into that 126 and held and started to reverse, we had 4 or 5 days where it just couldn't break 130. And it was a very simple trade. We put in a buy stop above 130. Shake, I believe you were in this with me as well. Yep. You might still be in it. Yeah. So again, for me, I bought it up through 130. The initial stop was verse 126. So I was risking $4 in the name. After we had that, very nice first day. In the last 3 days, it's kind of just grinded higher. I've now just moved the stop to break even. So if this trade fails, I can care less. I will basically lose, 5 or 6 cents per share. And if this can if it can kind of base out here and flag for a little bit, I have no problem buying up through 135 or 136 to be in for that bigger move into the 150s. So that's kind of like that BXP. I was buying it kind of too late. We're now in this Walmart, we're buying it up of support. I can continue to dollar cost average at higher prices if it sets up. If it doesn't and completely reverses tomorrow or the next couple of days, I'll lose very little. And that's kind of the main goal, at least for my trading, is to try to lose as little as possible. Compared to the guy who was.
And I want to point out something that's important. You didn't buy this because I'll talk about this. My good trade, bad trade. You didn't buy this. It didn't retest the level for one day, and you bought it. It gave us nice consolidation, a nice level to buy. Yeah. Just pointing that out.
Yeah, and that's even if you pulled like CRM really quickly. That's kind of the same thing where again we traded this CRM recently. Up through that 230 breakout, up into like that 240, 250 area, and as it came back down. Down through like that 210 area, it like looked like an easy buy, like buy up through 220 versus 210, but it just didn't have a couple days to really consolidate. Where now again, it's still not setting up, and that's why it was just a trade you didn't have to take. It just didn't set up. Where Walmart, it got beat up for 10 days, and then it set up, and then it gave us that move higher. And on the flip side with the market, up 7, 8, 9, 10 days, eventually that trend shorter term has to change. Same with stocks. So again, that's my little piece, and then let's hear your lessons.
Start with my bad trade. So the important part I was talking about was the few days of consolidation. So I bought this. All right. So this is where I made a mistake last week, and it was the first day, second day after we rebounded, and we had the clubhouse, and I was talking about like how I didn't want to get suckered into the buys, and I got suckered into this DoorDash. It was the first day after this bounce back. At this 147.21, it had an intraday flag right below that area. I bought the new highs, and I was literally like my price was right around that high a day. I was in the money for like 5 minutes. Just one of those trades, like you know he's gonna fail like the whole time you're in it, but you don't want to change your game plan or anything. So me just getting involved in that way too early without all that daily consolidation was my major mistake. And now it's setting up. Now I have, you see this alert, the orange on the screen. That's an alert. I'm gonna look to buy this tomorrow on the way up because it has that consolidation. The setup completely changes with the 4 or 5 days of consolidation. That is so important. That's why I pointed out with Walmart, and I'm pointing out with this DoorDash here. It just completely changes how the setup is looked at. So good trades. We talked about this AbbVie. That one triggered today, but this Roblox I did really well with today. So here's from the newsletter last night. You can see my plan. It seems like this Roblox will be the next big thing. Nice initial move in the IPO, looking for a pullback buy in the 64-68 area. Want to see that intraday reversal to the upside to get involved. So what I'm looking for the stock to continue to pull in and reverse, finding some support, and then I'm going to look to buy it. And it just worked out perfectly today. Let me lose all these moving averages. So it worked out perfectly today, and what I'm looking at is the 15-minute chart. When you're looking for reversals, the lowest time frame you can look at is a 15-minute chart. It's very important. So what's it do? I was looking for 64 to 68 area. It pulls into 66.35, reverses just under 68, and I buy 68 versus 66. So now I'm in great position with great stock. Now the trade's still in motion. It's only day one, but this thing looks just like it's ready to catapult through highs. I have a great stock. I got the right stop. So now I'm just in a great position with this one. So, just made a clear plan, executed the plan. Nothing you could say did anything wrong there. Just some good shit there.
Just amazing. Just say it's amazing trade.
This is the good trade, right?
Yeah.
DoorDash is trash.
So with this RBLX, and then you jump at the 15-minute. Like on the 15-minute, we can kind of see there's a little bit of resistance at like 74. Now that you already have this, really good stock from 67, if it starts to flag out again up through 74, would you look to add into it, or you just have enough stock where you're like, I'm good with my costs, I don't really want to pick up any more?
Tricky. I mean, I have to see how it sets up. I do have good stock, and I do have a good enough position where I don't need to add. So, what do we do with adding? Usually, it fucks up the whole trade. You tighten up your stop and all these things. So I don't want to mush the trade. If it flags out under this 74, 75 area, the hourly chart's easier to look at for these things. Under this area, then I would treat it as a whole new trade and look for a momentum setup. So definitely, but that would be a different trade. I'd still keep this 66 stop on this stop, and then I would have whatever the momentum trade stop was on that stock.